Picture this. You get injured, lose your job, hit a rough patch. You're not out partying, you're not being lazy, you're just going through a tough season. And in that moment, when you need support the most, a gentle voice, a partner, someone in your corner, you notice something strange. The warmth fades, the tone changes, the eye contact disappears, the patience, gone. She starts snapping more, rolling her eyes, making passive-aggressive comments. Why don't you just do something already? I can't be the only one carrying the weight. And it hits you. This isn't unconditional love. This is performance-based validation. You were never truly loved. You were useful. You were the ATM, the emotional sponge, the handyman, the chauffeur, the therapist, the protector. And now that you can't provide one of those services, her love malfunctions. Because here's the brutal truth most men never hear until it's too late. A woman's love in modern relationships is almost always conditional. And the condition is your utility, not your heart, not your loyalty, not your dreams, pain, or intentions, but what you can do for her. This is not about being bitter. This is about being honest. Because too many men are sleepwalking into relationships thinking they've found the one, when what they've actually found is a transaction wrapped in romance. You don't believe it? Look around. How many stories have you heard of men being abandoned right after they lost their job? How many were cheated on during recovery from surgery or mental breakdowns? How many built an entire life only to be discarded the moment their value dropped? And the worst part, society applauds her for leaving. She has to do what's best for her. She shouldn't have to suffer just because he's struggling. She deserves happiness. Meanwhile, if a man left a woman when she gained weight, lost her looks, or became emotionally unavailable, he'd be demonized. Double standard? No, it's deeper. It's a systemic reality that most men are programmed to ignore. We are taught that love is eternal, that marriage is sacred, that a good woman will stay no matter what. But here's what no one tells you. Unconditional love is a myth, especially for men. And it's not because women are evil. It's because society no longer holds them accountable for leaving. In fact, it rewards them. That's why this is bigger than personal heartbreak. This is about a structure that exploits your instincts, your desire to protect, to provide, to be loyal, and turns it into a liability. Because once you can't deliver, you're obsolete. And what used to be "I love you" becomes "I need space. I'm not happy anymore. I just need to find myself." But she already found herself. She found herself walking away the moment you stopped being useful. Let's go deeper. You've probably asked yourself at some point, why does it feel like her love is tied to how productive I am? Well, because it is. Modern relationships, whether we like to admit it or not, are built around a psychological exchange. And for men, that exchange often hinges entirely on utility. In theory, we're told love is emotional, spiritual, eternal. But in practice, it's conditional, transactional, and highly dependent on what you bring to the table. Let's break this down. From an evolutionary standpoint, women have always selected men based on traits that enhance survival: strength, protection, resources, stability. There's nothing wrong with that, as it's biology. But the problem arises in modern culture, where the traditional male role hasn't disappeared. It's expanded, distorted, and turned against you. Today, the expectations on men are astronomical. You're expected to be emotionally available while never showing weakness, make money while also being present at home, protect her, but never be controlling, be confident, but never disagree too strongly, be a leader, but always let her have the final say. And the moment you slip, you're not just criticized, you're replaced. Because the media has programmed an entire generation of women to believe one message: if he stops making you happy, leave. You deserve more. You see it in TikToks, in divorce blogs, in girl group chats, in self-help books written by influencers who were divorced 3 times before age 35. The message is consistent. Your feelings are valid. His struggle is not. So when you, as a man, face a downturn, financially, emotionally, physically, what you often discover is that her love had fine print all along. You didn't marry a partner. You married a performance-based contract. And this is the part that no one talks about. Most men are emotionally unprepared for this truth. Why? Because men are raised to love unconditionally. We're taught to protect, provide, and stay loyal even when things get hard. We admire the man who sticks by his wife through cancer, weight gain, depression, betrayal. But how often is that loyalty returned? How many women are staying when their man can no longer carry the weight? How many still show him desire when he's broke or broken? How many truly see his worth when he's no longer impressive to the outside world? Rarely. And here's the psychological tragedy. Men blame themselves when this happens. You think, I failed, I wasn't enough. Maybe I should have worked harder. Maybe I'm the reason she left. No, man. She left because her love was conditional and you no longer met the conditions. That's not love, that's a contract. And here's the most brutal twist of all. Even women who believe they love you deeply may still walk away when utility disappears. Not because they're evil, but because they've been conditioned to. Conditioned to chase the best offer. Conditioned to fear being stuck. Conditioned to think that self-fulfillment means leaving anyone who can't deliver 100% all the time. So while you're thinking, we built this life together, she's thinking, this life no longer serves me. And the system backs her up. The culture encourages her to choose herself. The courts protect her right to leave with your house, your money, and your kids. Meanwhile, you're left in ruins, emotionally, financially, psychologically. And everyone just says, man up. No one asks how you feel. No one teaches you how to heal. No one tells you you were set up. Now let's step out of the personal. Let's zoom out and look at the system. Because the idea that your wife's love is conditional, based on how useful you are, doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists because the world you live in was designed to make it that way. Let's talk about the programming. From the moment you're born, you're fed a script. Protect women at all costs. A real man provides. Hey, you're only as good as what you can give. Never show weakness. Happy wife, happy life. Sound familiar? These phrases aren't just advice. They're psychological implants. And while they're normalized, they've trained generations of men to link their value to their function. So you grow up believing that if you stop producing, stop performing, stop protecting, you lose your worth. Not just in society, but in your relationship. And guess what? She believes it too. Because while you were being programmed to provide, she was being told, never settle. You're the prize. If he can't keep up, you don't need him. You deserve to be happy no matter what. If he's not making your life easier, what's the point? She internalized that message, and it's reinforced everywhere. Open Instagram, scroll TikTok, turn on Netflix. Men are portrayed as jokes, incompetent, replaceable. Women, empowered, flawless, untouchable. It's not about equality. It's about entitlement. You're not in a relationship. You're in a conditional exchange where she holds the exit key, and you don't even know it. But it doesn't stop with culture. Let's talk legal structure. Marriage is the only contract where one party can break it unilaterally, face 0 penalties, take 50% or more of your assets, gain full or majority custody of the children, and still demand ongoing payments for years or decades. Imagine signing a business deal like that. No sane person would, but men do every day in the name of love. And when the woman exits, society praises her for being strong, while you're painted as the failure who didn't keep her happy. The court doesn't care about your story. The system doesn't care that you were loyal. No one asks what she stopped doing, how she changed, or whether you were emotionally abandoned. You're the man. You pay, you adapt, you lose. Even worse, you're not allowed to say any of this out loud. Try explaining to your friends how you feel discarded now that you're struggling. Try telling your family you feel used. Try posting online that your wife's love changed the moment you lost your job. You'll be met with silence at best, ridicule at worst. Because the male experience of abandonment is invisible by design. You're not allowed to feel betrayed. You're not allowed to speak your pain. You're not allowed to question the terms of the deal. Because the moment you do, you become the villain. And that's how the system sustains itself, by training men to suffer in silence while rewarding women for leaving at the first sign of discomfort. No accountability, no balance, no reciprocity. Just a silent agreement that you will keep working until you're no longer needed. And when that day comes, the world will pat her on the back for choosing herself, while you sit alone in a one-bedroom apartment wondering, did she ever love me? Or just what I could provide? So what now? You've seen the pattern. You've felt the weight of it. You've lived the quiet panic of knowing, if I stop performing, I'm disposable. That realization is devastating, but it's also your wake-up call. Because once you understand that the love you've been sold is conditional, you're finally free to stop chasing approval and start reclaiming your soul. Let's be clear, not every woman operates this way, but the system rewards those who do and punishes the men who expect something deeper. So here's the hard truth. You can't change the system, but you can change your contract with it. Here's what that looks like. Stop mistaking performance for love. If her affection depends on your bank account, your emotional labor, your utility, it's not love, it's dependency. It's entitlement. You're not a partner. You're a resource. Redefine your value. You are not your paycheck. You are not your performance. You are not your productivity. You are a man with inner worth, vision, strength, and boundaries. Set the new standard. You want love? Then demand reciprocity. Not gifts, not blind worship, but mutual effort, respect, real commitment. Not, I love you because you make me feel good, but I love you even when life gets hard. Be prepared to walk. Here's the most empowering sentence you'll ever speak. I'd rather be alone than conditionally tolerated. Because a man who chooses his peace over performative affection is untouchable. He's dangerous to the system. He can't be manipulated. He can't be guilt-tripped. And most importantly, he's free. Build without begging. Stop trying to prove your worth to someone who only claps when you're performing. Stop investing in people who disappear when you fall. Stop pouring your energy into someone who measures your love by what you produce. Start building a life that makes you whole, with or without anyone else. Work out for you. Grow your business for you. Create boundaries for you. Live in alignment with your values, not society's script. And if love comes, let it come on your terms, not as a reward for what you can give, but as a reflection of who you are. Because the real tragedy isn't being left when you lose utility. It's never realizing that you were only valued when you had it. So here's your moment of clarity. You were not broken. You were exploited. You were not unloved. You were misled. You were not discarded because you were weak. You were left because you stopped serving someone else's narrative. And now you have a choice. Keep chasing conditional love, or reclaim the dignity they told you was too much to ask for. You decide what kind of man you want to be. One who performs to be kept, or one who walks because he finally remembers his worth.